Apartheid in South Africa crumbled after Nelson Mandela walked to freedom, but black people suffered decades of government-backed injustice before it did. Apartheid really began in 1948, but separating black Africans from the white minority had long been a policy aim. Laws made white people officially superior, and the large black majority faced discrimination in every aspect of their lives. Living, doing business or owning land in white areas was banned. There were separate public facilities, transport and schools. Interracial marriage was banned. Many had no right to citizenship and were regarded as aliens in major cities. Instead, they were made citizens of Bantustans, homelands scattered throughout South Africa.
White Afrikaners are not under existential threat, and that by portraying them as victims of racial persecution not only distorts reality but also damages relationships built over 30 years since the end of apartheid.
Terrible things are happening in South Africa. The leadership is doing some terrible things, horrible things.
Indeed, Eric took inspiration from a whites-only town in South Africa for what he's building here. He's used this as a reason to open up the US refugee program to white South Africans.
I feel that's a little bit of a loaded question because genocide, the definition of genocide is such that you can interpret it any way you want.
Specifically, Trump is giving refugee status to Afrikaners.
These are the descendants of the people who created the most diabolical system of white supremacy in human history, apartheid.
Trump has even claimed a so-called white genocide is happening in South Africa.
But it's a genocide that's taking place that you people don't want to write about.
President Trump has signed an executive order giving refugee status to white people from South Africa. You know, I could have sworn that white people had it good in South Africa. Must be the Mandela effect.
Genocide means acts committed with the intent to destroy, in whole or in part, a national, ethnical, racial, or religious group. These acts include killing members of the group, causing serious bodily or mental harm, intentionally inflicting conditions of life calculated to bring about physical destruction, imposing measures to prevent births within the group, and forcibly transferring children of the group to another.
Is there a white genocide in South Africa?
Do I believe there's a white genocide? Yes, I do. They want it to be a black country. And if that's not the definition of genocide, I don't know what is. Again, it's not always just about murdering. The term is eradication, or whatever it means.
Some white South Africans who pine for the good old days of apartheid are now doubling down harder than ever, not by admitting they miss racial hierarchy, but by pushing a white genocide narrative like a bad movie remake. It's almost poetic. The same people who once held state power, enforced segregation, and hoarded generational wealth are now playing the victim. The death they're really mourning isn't a real genocide. It's the end of their unchallenged economic dominance. But instead of admitting they're upset about losing unearned perks, they spin it into a racial persecution thriller.
People like Eric are afraid that white Americans are being replaced, and a projection from the US Census has them worried.
Imagine, what is this going to look like when we are actually a minority? And so we see what's happening in South Africa and we say, is that going to be us?
And here's the kicker: demographics change everywhere. It's called time, migration, birth rates, and life. Not a conspiracy. Not a master plan. Just math. And if math scares you, your problem isn't diversity. It's your math skills. So let's keep it simple. No one is replacing you. No one is plotting against you. People are just existing, living, moving, loving, starting families. And if that feels like an attack, maybe the problem isn't the world. Maybe it's your worldview.
Death, 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 horrible death. These are burial sites right here. Burial sites, over 1,000 of white farmers.
So what is the truth?
These Afrikaners are among the most privileged people on the entire continent.
Trump is such a joke as a president. who has made countless of false and utterly untrue claims, and you elected this guy. F you.
I'm not going to be repeating what I've been saying. So it'll take him, President Trump, listening